Hello, my name is Christine and I run a vintage shop called Prima Treasures on Etsy. Today I wanted to talk about this stapler, and I know it looks a little weird and it doesn't seem like it's anything special, but I think it is unusual and I'm going to tell you why. This stapler was made by a company called, let me look underneath it, Speed Products of Long Island City, New York. I don't know if you can actually read that markup under here, but it's there. And that company later became Swingline. This particular stapler is actually the model that was dubbed the Swingline when they decided to adopt that moniker. So the thing I find interesting about this particular stapler is that it doesn't really say Swingline anywhere on it. I looked at a lot of photos online, and there are this exact model where it will say Swingline here, and then sometimes some of them have Swingline branding right here on top as well. This one doesn't have either of that. So my feeling is that it's kind of an early version of that model, potentially before they even really leaned into the branding and the marketing. And I like the fact that it's got this cool deco look. Underneath, again, probably not easy to see on the video, but there's a bunch of patent numbers listed down here, which I looked up, and they all date to like 1938, 1939. And the interesting thing about patent numbers is that it usually takes a while for your application to go through. So sometimes you can wait about a year before your patent application is granted and you own the patent. And the thing I find interesting about that in relation to the stapler is that right here on this metal bracket it says patent pending, which certainly begs the question for me of, was this the 1938 version of the stapler before they got the patent granted to them? So that's a possibility, and that could be why this has no real branding on it. Now, the reason it was named a Swingline is because prior to this stapler being developed and patented, you had to do weird things like shove staples in through the back and, play around with mechanisms that were supposed to push it, and it was just awkward. And so this company is the one who came up with the idea of the stapler being something that you could load from the top and that had the spring to push it so that it was much easier to get the staples in and out. So you can see it's kind of swinging back and forth. I guess you can call it that. And I did notice when I opened the stapler that one spot right here says Swingline, and it just says use Swingline staples. So clearly at this point the name was kind of in circulation and they were playing around with it, but they hadn't really leaned hard into it yet. So that kind of furthers my assumption that this is an early version of what later became the Swingline stapler with all the branding and the product name right on it. So that's what I find interesting and kind of special about this stapler, and I wanted to share that because the story of the stapler also kind of gives an idea of how we do our research and how we figure out the age of things. So I hope you learned something from this particular video, and I thank you for watching.